Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about what now is named Tropical Storm Fay. I know, it's crazy. I wasn't expecting it, and I know a lot of you weren't either, and sure enough, it did happen though, much to our surprise. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. I'd also like to invite you to join our very exciting Discord server and Facebook groups down below in the pinned comment down below. Alright, now for today's comment of the day, I want to know, since we're at July 10th and we have a tropical storm, how long do you think until our next tropical storm develops? Pick a date, for instance, August 1st, something like that, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. And now we're looking at that model intensity guidance from yesterday, and as you can see, only about 4 were showing us reach tropical storm status, and actually that UKX2, that blue one, has been the most accurate now because it had rapid intensification, and that is exactly what happened. Let's go ahead and move on to today's intensity guidance, and as you can see, well, we're well into tropical storm status here. We're at about, actually, I just got an update on my phone that we're at 60 mile per hour winds. It was 50 mile per hour winds when I started making all the frames for this video, but it is 60 mile per hour winds. You might notice that we have a lot of these models just dipping down almost instantaneously, and you might be wondering why that is, and it's because we're going to see this storm move over land. The interesting thing is a lot of these models actually just keep it in tropical storm status for a very, very long time. Even some of them have it intensifying, so we're really going to have to watch that closely, see what this one does in the future. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're just going to move on, take a look at where the low pressure system is, the satellite imagery. We're actually going to take a look at some current radar, and then we're going to take a look at some of the spaghetti models, wind forecast, simulated radar forecast, total rainfall forecast, and our official direct weather cone forecast. All of those exciting things are coming up later on in this video. Alright, and here we are taking a look at the low pressure location, and keep in mind this video is going to be uploaded much later than the time I am making this audio. So I'm making this audio at 9:30 a.m., but I'm not expecting the video to be out until after 11 or 12, so this is going to be a little bit outdated, but generally when I'm making this audio, the low pressure system was over, well, it was just offshore of the Delmarva heading directly northward. I am anticipating a New Jersey impact, whether it's in southern Jersey or possibly even closer to New York City up there in northern New Jersey. One of those two areas is going to feel an impact that is quite hefty, to say the least. We're going to get a quite hefty impact. Let's take a look at that beautiful satellite imagery. Take a look at that. I don't even need to show you guys where the low pressure system is because you can make out that little spiral. There's not a lot of tall clouds near it, but to the north of it, we're seeing a lot of thunderstorms over Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and even to the south of it as well. A very, very beautiful satellite imagery here. One of the more beautiful storms I've seen in a very, very long time. What a beautiful storm. Now here's our current radar. This is as of 9:30 a.m. Like I said before, the time I'm making this audio. We had some very heavy thunderstorms moving onshore to New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Maryland. These are dropping some very heavy rain. Even notice those green boxes. Those are flash flood warnings. So we are definitely seeing heavy rainfall for a lot of these areas, and those are only going to move further north into New York City, Long Island. Pennsylvania is going to get more of it, northern New Jersey, and eventually New England and upstate New York are also going to get involved with these heavier showers and thunderstorms. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at what the National Hurricane Center has to say as far as their cone forecast, and then we're going to break down some of the spaghetti models here. Just take a look at some implications like the total wind gusts, total rainfall, and simulated radar, things like that coming up. Alright, now here we are taking a look at Noaa's cone forecast, and as you can see, again, this is as of 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., the time I'm making this video. And we can see this one is expected to head north and then ride along the New Jersey coast, and then hit around New York City, Long Island area. Alright, now let's look at those spaghetti models, and I know there's a very wide view, but they do eventually have it possibly hitting Iceland, or possibly the United Kingdom as well. This one's going to go straight through Canada and then back into the Atlantic Ocean, very far north, so I don't know how intense this one can stay, obviously. We have seen these ones stay kind of subtropical or post-tropical in these regions, so it isn't necessarily going to be just a goner once it reaches these regions. It could remain a pretty strong low-pressure system and then head back towards Europe. It's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And then here's the European ensemble models outlook here, and it's kind of outdated because you can see that the storm was actually located over the Outer Banks when this model run came out, but it did have it kind of fizzling out over Canada on this model. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. We're going to take a look at some of the impacts. We're going to take a look at those wind gusts, the simulated radar, things of that nature, even the total rainfall, and then our direct weather official forecast and probably our final forecast here for Tropical Storm Fay. All right, now first things first, here's those wind gusts. And this is not going to be for a single frame. This is actually the accumulated maximum wind gusts. So all this is it's taking for the entire 18-hour model run here on our HRRR model. It's taking the maximum winds that the entire model run showed for a given location. So this is not a specific hour. This is within the next 18 hours is the maximum wind gust you could feel in any of these regions. Anywhere in the greens, you're above 34 mile per hour wind gusts. Anywhere in those yellows, you can see some of those come on shore for Long Island, New Jersey, and even Delaware. That's where you're at 50 mile per hour wind gusts plus. Very intense, more intense than we originally anticipated, and that is going to be more than just a nuisance wind event. If you get 50 mile per hour wind gusts, that is going to start to cause some damage. So this is very much so a major tropical storm. It's one of the more major tropical storms I've seen in a while as far as impacts, just the regions it's going to hit. Very, very intense here. Let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at that simulated radar, the total rainfall, and then our official direct weather forecast for Tropical Storm Fay. All right, now first things first, here is that first frame, and this is going to be kind of around the time I'm making this video, 9 a.m. Again, we took a look at that radar frame, and this kind of looks similar because it is about right now. So we see the heavier rainfall in the yellows and reds, obviously. Those are located over southern New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland by about 9:30 a.m. Let's move towards this afternoon, though. About 2 p.m., we're going to start to see those heavier thunderstorms move onshore to northern New Jersey, and those are going to reach pretty far into central Pennsylvania as well. They're even hitting New York City by this afternoon as well. Then by the time we reach maybe, let's see, this would probably be approximately 4, 5, 6 p.m. around dinner time. We're seeing those thunderstorms reach northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey still being impacted heavily, Long Island, New York City, even some of the New England states as well being impacted. And then by the time we reach maybe about 10 or 11 p.m. tonight, those are going to be more in the form of scattered thunderstorms. They're going to become less organized, more scattered around, and probably the wind threat will be diminished a little bit by tonight. That doesn't mean there won't be any damaging wind, but it'll most likely be a lot smaller than it was this afternoon. I think the peak impacts are going to be this afternoon for New Jersey, Long Island, and New York City. All right, now here's that total accumulated precipitation, basically the total rainfall. Anywhere in the greens, you're at about any rain to about half an inch of rain. In the blues, you're at half an inch to 2 inches of rain. So you can see pretty much the entire Northeast is going to get at least half an inch of rain. The pinks is where we're seeing 2 to 6 inches of rain. So you can see a lot of New Jersey, a lot of Long Island, New York City's in there, a lot of Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, Vermont, most of New York State. Lots of regions are at 2 inches plus. And the deeper we get into those purples, the closer we are to those 5, 6 inch amounts there. All right, now let's take a look at our official direct weather forecast. And I want to draw your attention to the bottom right-hand corner there. You can see the location is 37.6 degrees north by 74.7 degrees west. We have winds of, well, what is now 60 mile per hour, but by the time I was making this frame, it was only at 50 miles per hour. We have a 998 millibar low pressure system, and it's moving north at 10 miles per hour. All right, and I'm very proud, actually, I wanted to mention this, about how our cone forecast has gone. And not only that, actually, about, I would say 3 weeks ago, I made a forecast saying that first half of July would be very favorable for tropical activity, and people called me crazy. They said, you can't forecast that this far out. And sure enough, we have had a tropical storm form. Actually, we've had 2 tropical storms form now within that time period I had mentioned. I'm very proud about that forecast, and I'm actually proud about how the forecast for this storm has gone. As far as the cone forecast, I obviously didn't think it would become a tropical storm, so obviously I could have done better there, but I am very proud of how we've tracked this one. As far as where it's headed, it has stayed within our cone the entire way. I think every single storm we forecasted so far has gone about how we thought it would, so I'm very proud about how this hurricane season has gone so far as our direct weather forecasts. Now, we're going to see this one scoot along the very coastline of New Jersey there, possibly be a little bit further inland, possibly be just offshore, but most likely it's going to head right in the middle of that cone, probably hit New York City dead on. If not, I think it's more likely we might see a Long Island impact. and then it's going to head somewhere along the Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New York's border there, and then head up into Canada, where it is going to eventually fizzle out, especially if it tracks over the Green Mountains there in Vermont. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let's get into that comment of the day. I asked you guys, where do you think this one is going to impact? Where's going to be the landfall that this one takes? And Zeta Derv, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, said, I think New Jersey will feel the most effects from this. And obviously, if you've watched this video, I definitely agree. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.